As we have a few people joining us, let us know where you're joining from. We want to hear from you. If you could, in the comments, just let us know where you're joining from. Hello and welcome to today's Lunch and Learn. Let us know where you're joining us from. Looks like we have a couple people joining us. Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about YouTube and how to get started and some tips and tricks. Let us know in the comments where you're joining us from. To our friends out there that are just joining, do me a huge favor. Actually, two things if you could. Let us know where you're coming from. And if you don't mind, hitting that little watch party icon helps us out so that way you can share with your friends that you're about to learn some awesome stuff about YouTube. Hello, everybody. Hope you are doing great. That music just has me pumped. Like I already went on my run this morning, so I have all this energy ready to rock and roll. And then that's the music, that upbeat, that kind of boom. I'm super excited for you to be here. Woo! Okay, so welcome to today's live stream. If you look around, I kind of made a few changes, added a thing on this. We'll go this side, put one up here, just trying to up the production value for you guys. You're spending your time here with me every day at noon. I want to make sure the place looks nice, make sure it looks okay. So today we have an awesome presenter. He's actually become a close friend. He is an awesome YouTuber, and he's super, super knowledgeable when it comes to all parts of camera and tech. If you want to check out his channel, just do a search for Tech Gear Talk. But before we get into all of that, I do have a few housekeeping things. First, I want to see where everybody is coming from. Hello, hello from Jim, last week's contest winner. Checking in from Cloudy with a Chance of Photography, Wadsworth, Ohio. Not too far from me. How we doing, buddy? Then we have joining us from Geneva, Illinois. Look at that dashing gentleman. That is Nick from Illinois. I hope you're doing well, buddy. Eeyore is drinking coffee and watching first-person view of a roller coaster. Nice. We have Jackie Photo joining us. Hello, Jackie. Hope you're doing well through everything. Mr. Mag Claude Van Dam himself from Dearborn Heights. Hope you're doing well today, buddy. And then we have C.R. Curtin. I struggle with that because I don't know how it's pronounced, and I do apologize. But thank you again for joining us from Canton, Michigan. So if you could just put in the comments kind of where you're from, where you're joining us from, because we want to hear from you. So let's jump into our housekeeping items of the day. We will be monitoring that live chat all day. If you have questions about anything, please, please, please let us know, and we'll be more than happy to answer that for you. We are still open at the store from 1 to 5 every day but Sunday. We're taking Sunday off for now, but every other day we are open from 1 to 5. And we also offer shipping on thousands of items on our website. So you could just go to thepixelconnection.com and search for anything you need, and we'll ship it right to your door. Or we offer curbside pickup. So if you just pull up, flash your lights, send a smoke signal, pop your trunk, we will hook you up with whatever gear you need. Our goal is to do this every day at noon. So if you do have any ideas for live streams that you'd like to see in the future, please do me a favor and let me know. I want to make sure that I'm making these beneficial for you guys. I want to let you know about the PPA. And again, I talk about this every day, but the PPA has opened up their education library for all photographers. You don't even have to be a member of the PPA. They're opening it up to everybody because they know everyone's at home. Everybody is working on their business, or they're trying, new forms of photography. So they have opened that up to everybody. And you can head over to ppa.com/inittogether, and you'll be able to see all of that content for no cost. Why not? So what are our goals for today? So again, I talk through this every day, but number one is getting you through the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that is going on right now. So the world's a crazy place. I mean, there's a lot of things going on right now, and to pull you away from that, it's my goal to remind you that you do have this passion for photography, for, whether it's your business, whether it's your hobby. I want to remind you and pull you away from that, even if it is just for an hour, to hopefully learn something new and inspire you to get out and do some photography. My second one is to get you motivated to try something new. I want to get you outside of your comfort zone. So the magic happens for comfort zone. See that real quick? Oh, let's go this side. Look, new background too. I'm trying to make it look better for you guys. So my goal is to get you outside of that comfort zone, to get you to try something new, because it could turn into something that is very profitable for you in the future. With this, especially today's topic, we're going to be talking about YouTube and video. So I want you to think about, if you don't want to be on camera, if you don't enjoy this kind of thing, that's fine. This could be something that you could create a value for customers. So if you're already working with some small businesses, why not add YouTube to your repertoire to help them grow their YouTube channel, to help their growth, to help show off their business? So there's a lot of different ways that you can think about this content. It's not just, hey, I want to be a YouTuber and start vlogging every day, which if that's your goal, that's totally fine. But this could also be a part of your business where, you can sit down and create videos about your new products. You could create videos with behind the scenes in your photography. You don't have to necessarily be talking to the camera and doing this every day, but you can help your clients, or you can go into a business. Let's say it's a fencing company and they put up fences. You could go and create YouTube content for them, because chances are your camera already has the ability to shoot really good video. Go back to that video where we talked about audio, and you could lock it in and provide a really high quality service to another business. If you need any resources from today, if we talk about something that you're interested in or you have questions about, then please reach out. Social at thepixelconnection.com. Or if you head over to our Instagram page or our Facebook page, you can just message us there and I will respond. I'm the guy behind the keyboard. So if you have any questions, please let me know. So without further ado, let's see who else joined us. Oh, I did pronounce, oh, but see, now I don't know how to say it. So I'm going to say Kierton. Kierton. Facebook user says hi. And then Mike Amico, our friendly Olympus tech rep / sales rep, says hello as well. So thanks for being here, guys. I really appreciate it. Another person that I'm really excited to be here today is our guest. So we'll get him unmuted. He's been in the green room. He's all ready to go. Hello, how are we doing today?
Doing great, TJ.
Excellent.
Thanks so much for having me on.
Absolutely. So you have a YouTube channel, right? Just a small one.
Yep.
Maybe one, right? So Tech Gear Talk is the YouTube channel. And it's funny, I don't even know how we originally connected, but I had messaged you and some I realized that you were, close to Ohio. And I was like, holy crap, someone with more than 50,000 subs lives like 45 minutes from me. Like, and he instantly, I idolized him because the content was on point. The production value on point. All the other things that we're going to be talking about today were on point. And that's what originally had attracted me to his channel. So I want to kick off and give people a little bit of background on, why you started YouTube, kind of what is your story? Like, where did you start and what brought you to where we are today?
All right. So I actually started YouTube pretty randomly. I had a friend I still have a friend that has a YouTube channel, and he had been doing it for a couple of years. And he really just introduced me to the concept. Like, I didn't even know, I never really, ironically, watched YouTube too often before I started my channel. So he really sort of showed me that there are these types of channels. And I remember watching them and liking a few of them and being like, oh, I'd like to try that. I was already doing photography and video. So just like you mentioned, I already had some gear. And then literally just started creating videos. And if you go look at my channel and you look at the first video that I created, it's pretty horrible. I'm using like multiple microphones, a different type. The audio is changing all over the place. But we all have to start somewhere. So I did that. And then I started creating a few more. And I think my fifth video was a Netgear product, the Orbi. And I created this video. It was actually pretty long. And then like a couple of days later, a rep from Netgear contacted me through YouTube. And I was too new to understand like how rare that was. And long story short, got on a call. And that sort of started this whole journey. And it took me about a year and a half I was working on a few other projects. And then I sort of started taking it seriously at the end of last year, 2018, I think, or 20, doesn't matter. Taking it more seriously and creating more content. And there's a lot of stuff that you learn through this journey. So I'm excited to share some of it.
Yeah, and like before this, you really didn't have much of a social media presence even before your YouTube channel, right?
I had zero social media presence. I wasn't on Facebook. I mean, even personally, I wasn't on Facebook. I wasn't on Twitter. Nowhere. This was sort of, once I started doing this, I realized, oh, I don't have a way to connect with my network of actual friends online. So yeah, that sort of brought me online altogether.
So, I want to point that out as kind of that lesson, because if you're sitting here thinking, well, he had this huge following before, and then he started YouTube, and then all those followers followed, that's not at all what happened. Like, he started with, this, and correct me if I'm wrong, this content first approach where you were just putting out solid content. You started to get noticed by a few more people, and then you added on this social media to connect with people. So it wasn't like you had this huge following already. This was all organic growth.
Yeah, I mean, not at all. And I approach this, I do a lot of a lot of video and photography gear, and then I'm branching out into other tech. And my focus was this is sort of a flaw in me. I do a ton of research before I buy something, like beyond the point of diminishing return. And what I tried to do is think, okay, if I were only going to watch one video, if I was only watching one video, what would I want to know about that product so that I can then make a decision? And so my videos are pretty in depth. They're kind of, some of them are pretty long.
Very much so. And I'm like the complete opposite. I'm like, yeah, impulse buy this. I don't really research, and then I'm selling stuff on eBay because I don't use it or it wasn't what I thought. So I'm the complete opposite of you. So that's why I like your videos, because like I even watched your Sigma one yesterday.
Yeah.
I believe it was yesterday, and going through, and now I had already ordered one of them, but I realized that like I probably could have ordered, one other one at that time, because you went so in depth, and the example images, photo, video, like they are very intense. I mean, they have so much content. So if you are looking at like camera gear and stuff like that, I definitely urge you to take a look at his channel, but even take a step back from that, look at the level of production that he puts into his video. He definitely puts in the work. There's no doubt about that. So if someone were to be starting out, like what would you recommend to them? Like what do they need to know? What do they need to do? I think you have some tips that you have prepared for us, right?
Yep.
Okay, so go ahead. I'll turn it over to you for a bit.
All right, cool. So I think, the first thing you want to do, and TJ brought up some perfect examples, like you have to decide what this YouTube channel is going to be about. What's the topic or the focus? And it could be for you or it could be for a client. Like TJ said, you already have a lot of gear, and even if you don't want to be in front of it, you can go to any business pretty much. Every business needs an online presence and video at this point. So figure out what it's going to be about. Like you could see what the Pixel Connection is doing right now with their own YouTube channel, and they're creating videos that provide value to their clients and to their potential clients. Or you might just like cooking and decide that you want to start a YouTube channel. But it's much easier to succeed and grow if you have a more focused approach. Because if you do one cooking video and then one online gaming video and one landscaping video, then the viewers don't know what to expect from your channel. And that's going to totally mess with the algorithm. So starting with something focused, I think is important. And that brings me right into the second aspect here, is which you need to provide value to your viewers, because beyond your friends and family who might watch your videos because you ask them to, the people are watching your videos because it's for them. They're looking for value. They might look to learn how to do something new, or someone to make them laugh, or show them just beautiful images or scenery, or just entertainment. It doesn't always have to be the same thing, but you have to think of it from the perspective of the viewer. If your goal is to grow, if you're just doing YouTube because it's fun and you want to put your content out there just to do it, that's cool. That works too. But if you're looking to grow, then you need to think of what is the value that you're providing to the viewer.
And I think that you can provide value, like let's say you like that vlog style of, following me around for the day.
Yep.
I think that you could definitely still provide that value in that format. So I don't want you to think that, vlogging for entertainment is, you have to just go into the entertainment vertical and be fun, and your life has to be interesting, like Casey Neistat. Like it doesn't have to be that. You can still inform. And I've often thought about doing some leadership stuff, like on my drive to work, like that more vlog style about leadership and vision and like the stuff that I really love on the self-improvement side. And that's something that you could do as well. So even though it's not, like this sitting in front of a camera and teaching someone something, you could take that camera with you and still entertain and, merge that with providing that value. So you can still teach and train, but more of a hands-on approach.
Absolutely. And the beautiful thing about YouTube is you have access to like literally everyone, like the whole world. So you might think, oh, well, I'm not really doing stuff that's that interesting. And that may or may not be true. That doesn't even really matter, because it might be interesting to someone else. Like some of the stuff that everyone does, we may think of, oh, it's kind of boring because I do it all the time, but someone else might be totally interested in it. And if you think of the entire world, I mean, there's just so much access to viewers that I promise you people are interested in things that you're interested in. Like there's just so many people out there. So brings me out to just figure out who your target audience and your target subscriber is. And the next thing that I think is a good idea to do is go look at some successful YouTube channels in that same vertical. So if you want to start a cooking channel, go look at some really successful cooking channels that already exist. And beyond just their production value, look at what they're doing, how they're delivering content, and what you think makes it successful. You can even read the comments. You can see what people like about their video. They'll tell you, oh, I really like that you did this or that you explained this. This gives you insight before you even start. And you don't need to copy what they're doing, but it gives you some really valuable data. And then once you do that and you're sort of ready to go, figure out an upload schedule that's consistent and more important, manageable. So ideally, I'd love to upload 3 videos a week. Do I upload 3 videos a week? No, because that's not realistic for the types of videos that I do. So figure out what works for you. Maybe you start with 1 a week. Maybe you start with 1 every 2 weeks. As far as YouTube is concerned, the more you upload, the better it is. But there's a balancing act there, right? Because you have a life and you can only create so much. But let your audience know what to expect. So if they know that every Monday you publish a video, that's great. You're training them to go, okay, Sunday, so tomorrow, TJ is publishing another video. Like exactly what Pixel is doing right now and what TJ is doing right now. You know that every day at noon, you're going to get a live stream. So 11:30, I get a notification on my phone. Boom, I know to go watch it. And then we get into actually creating the content. So I plan all my content out. So you can script the content. You can literally write the entire thing out. You can just do bullets. And some people are so good, I'm super jealous, and they can just wing it. For me, I like to use bullets because I know it's organized, or at the very least bullets. It's organized, and I know I'm not going to miss something that I want to cover. Now, if I was a travel vlogger, I probably wouldn't, because it's more fluid than that. TJ, what do you think about that?
Yeah, so I had to unmute. So I totally agree. So the travel, like you said, with the travel, that's like the experience of, you're experiencing this thing and you want to share that with your viewers. And as far as like planning that content out, I'm trying to do a better job of planning things, because I'm just talk right off the cuff. And, where like I do these live streams every day, I'm kind of thinking ahead and I'm just talking to the camera. But there's times when I miss things. So I'm trying to be better at doing more prep for the videos. And I feel like having that prep work done, even if it is just bullet points that I want to cover, just on the camera over to the left, or figure out a way that works for you, because I could do something where I'm talking about something and then I switch the camera angle to some B-roll and then kind of look at my script, maybe do a little bit of voiceover. So I'm also, as someone that's just starting a new YouTube channel, I'm trying to plan a little bit more. So there are YouTubers out there that script everything and read from a teleprompter as it's going in front of the screen. There's people that just have notes, and then there's people that wing it. So I'm trying to be kind of more in that middle section myself.
Awesome.
And I will say, like, the one thing from my education IT background is proper planning prevents piss poor performance. It's the 6 Ps. So I would say that the more planning that you can do for the videos, the better off your content is going to be. And you're going to get more trust too, because people are going to be more comfortable with you when you're talking directly to them, instead of looking down at notes all the time. Like in this live stream, I catch myself doing it. Like I'm making changes in the live stream, so I'm not keeping good eye contact. So having those notes, putting them up by the camera so you can see them, and then reading through, that'll help you kind of just glance over and, have good planning and be able to knock the video out.
Yeah, definitely. And then I think people get into gear, and your particular audience is likely already has some gear, or maybe they're just getting started. And people might spend months or years just trying to figure out what the right gear is. And this is what I tell people: there's only so much that research is going to help you with. And the specs only really tell you part of the story. So I try to explain to people that from my perspective, the user experience of the gear is sometimes more important than the specs. Because, and I always felt the same way when I was doing photography or video. Like, if you don't like using your gear, if every time you have to use your camera, you're like, oh, I hate that this is that, I don't like the ergonomics or whatever it is, it just creates friction and it prevents you from creating as much as you could. And
That's
that's
one thing
why.
that I ran into a lot, like on the road with Panasonic, was people would come up and they'd be like, "Well, it has a small sensor. I couldn't use it." I'm like, "But did you put it in your hand? Like, have you tried the other ones? Have you felt it?" And a lot of times, specifically with like Olympus and Panasonic, they feel so good in the hands. They have a nice, like the perfect size grip. And once they did that, they're like, "Oh," and then they at least let me talk to them about the benefits of Micro Four Thirds and the quality
Right.
and what they were shooting. And once you actually understand the menus, that feels good in the hands, and that tool fits your needs, that to
So
me is
important.
so much more important.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. And that's why I tell people that, and not everyone, I tell people that if possible, go to a store and hold, like, after you did your research, you're down to like 2 or 3 cameras. So go to a store and hold all 3 cameras, walk around the store, take some pictures, shoot some video, and see how it feels. Now, not everyone has the pixel connection within driving distance of their house. I get it. But if it's possible, I think that's such a valuable step that a lot of people miss, because what I might like, right? So I might review a camera and really like how it feels. And you might pick it up and go, no, like my hands are bigger than his or smaller than his. And this just doesn't feel right. And that you're only going to know that after you hold the camera. So I think it's really important to test your gear. Next, I would say, and again, your audience is probably already doing this if they're professional photographers or videographers. Just get one good lens. I think the lens selection is even more important than the body. And for YouTube, I mean, my favorite lens is the Sigma 18-35 f1.8. It's what I'm using right now.
Same.
And
Yep.
it's such a good value. It's ridiculous. So I think that's important. And then sort of as the next step, I think I would invest in lighting and I would invest in audio. So I think having good lighting is more important than having a good camera. If you give me a very inexpensive body, a good lens, but good lighting, I'll get much better video quality than a body that costs 4 or 5 times as much. So, and I think you touched on audio a little bit, and I know you've covered it in a few other streams. That's probably the thing that I see hurting most channels out there. It's not the video quality. I'm much more likely to turn off a video because it has poor audio than poor video, because even a phone will give you good video nowadays if you have enough light. But if someone's using an omnidirectional microphone that's picking up everything and I'm hearing traffic and people walking around and talking and I can't hear what the person is saying, that's going to make me leave the live stream or the video much more than an image that's a little underexposed or overexposed. You agree?
100%. And that's one thing that I just keep struggling with this, or not struggling, but that I've constantly built with this live stream, is finding the best quality of audio. That's what I've been searching after. The camera, I could put any camera. I mean, I've actually switched cameras for this live stream and it doesn't matter. Like, I use the EOS R, now I'm using the C100, but I could put my point and shoot up there. And as long as I can get the lights are solid, they're locked in, and I'm taking audio directly into the computer. So that doesn't even have to get into the camera. So for me, I want to just invest in as much good quality audio, because honestly, that stuff doesn't go, like, you have it forever. Like, my boom mic that I have on top of the C100 right now is the Rode, I think it's an NTG 1 or 2. Like, and we're on the 5. I think we might even be on 6 now. But but I didn't need to go out and update it. And this came out how many years ago, and that quality is still good. So it's not like the camera that's just gonna reduce in value. These are things that you're gonna have for a very, very long time. So audio is, to me, also one of the most important things, because again, people could be listening on their run, they could be listening on their drive, they could be listening
Hmm.
to it in their living room. So if they can't hear it, or they have to turn yours all the way up and then the directions come on and it just blows their eardrums out, they're going to get mad and not watch your content again. So you have to make sure that your levels are good. You have to make sure that you have good quality audio, or people are just going to tune out. They're just going to tune out.
Right. And then you balance that with the actual value of the content. So just good production value is not going to do it. And if I had to pick, I would say deliver good content over good production value. But now it's the barrier to entry to getting good lighting and good audio is pretty low. I mean, there's tons of really good options there. So to say, I totally agree with what you said. If you get a good microphone, it's like, unless you drop it and break it, you're not upgrading it.
Right.
And if you get good lighting, I feel like it's the same way. Like right now with LED lighting, I mean, it's going to last
For
forever.
yeah.
So to that point, which exactly, again, what TJ said, learning how to use your gear is critical. So just because you have nice gear, it doesn't mean you know how to use it. So take the time, learn how to use it. All of these things are, once you learn how to do them, they're easy to replicate. This is pretty simple because I have the exact same environment every time. So it's fairly basic, but everything that you learn along the way, believe me, I've gone through, you can watch some of the old videos and you'll see the progress there. All right. So you shot your video and it's ready to go. You're going to go and edit it now.
Yep.
And whether you're familiar with editing, with the whole process or not, plenty of YouTube videos out there to show you how to do that. I would recommend watching a couple of videos, tutorials, and then going and editing. Like, I think the actual experience, and it's the same with how to use your gear. You can watch 50 tutorials about how to do 2 or 3 point lighting, but until you get the lights in the room that you're at and actually get them to look how you want, you haven't really learned how to do it. You've seen someone else do it, and you need that, but you don't need to watch 50 tutorials on lighting. You need to watch a few tutorials, go try it. Then if you don't like it for some reason, then go watch some more. And I feel the same way about editing. You don't need to watch 50 editing videos. Go watch a few and go edit 50 videos. Then you'll know how to edit videos. And like, there's no video that I've published that I couldn't spend more time editing. I could always spend another couple of hours. But again, you reach a point of diminishing returns there where you are probably going to be the only one who notices these small changes that you make.
And perfect is the enemy of done. I mean, and that's what I've come up with, with creating, starting my new YouTube channel is, I have to get the content out there and then learn from any mistakes that I made. And then that'll help me on my next video. And I'm constantly building and building and building. For you to have a video and you spend, a month working on it and you're still not done, and it's like a 2-minute little short, video or your channel trailer, like, you have to get it out there. You have to push submit. You have to put it out there. And I think that you have to realize that that's kind of a mental thing where there's probably a little bit of you being scared to put yourself out there and put something out there that you don't feel is, good enough to your standards. But I promise you, like, get that video out there, get it in front of people, get people's feedback, because they might give you feedback on something that you didn't even notice. Like, hey, why is that picture crooked over here? Or why did you stop, with your soundproofing? Like, and if they didn't watch previous videos to know that I moved a bunch of stuff around in this room, like, they wouldn't have noticed that, or they wouldn't have known that happened. But they're giving me that feedback like, oh, I should probably change that because as a new viewer, it looks bad to them. So again, I think that you just have to push it out there. Don't worry about sweat all the small stuff. Just constantly make your videos better and better every time you hit publish would be my suggestion.
Yep. And I think I'll touch more of this towards the end, but I think we're naturally critical of ourselves and what we create. And I think a lot of times when someone is starting out, so let's say they've been watching YouTube for 5 years and they have their favorite YouTuber who's been doing this for 10 years, and you look at their content and you go, well, I can't make that. Okay, Neither could they on day one. So make sure that you're not comparing yourself. Like, be fair. It's like if you started playing basketball today, you wouldn't look at like LeBron or Kevin Durant and be like, well, I might as well not even start because I'm not going to be as good as they are right now. So again, be fair to yourself with where you are in the process, and you will get better. And the most important thing here is reps. So when people ask me what are my goals for my channel, it's just to make more videos. I'm not worried about subscribers. I'm not worried about likes. I definitely don't care about dislikes. I just want to create more content. One thing that's important and that I've learned through this journey kind of the hard way is that you don't decide which of your content is good or valuable. All you can do is create it and you put it out there. So you may have spent 20 or 30 hours on a video that you think is great, but when people watch it, they're like, nah, that's not, it has nothing to do with the production value. It might be the topic, or it doesn't matter. They just don't, this is not what they're looking for. Or you could create a piece of content where you go, well, this is silly. Like, everyone already knows this. It doesn't really matter. And it becomes hugely valuable to a large group of people. Yep. You don't get to make that decision. So the more reps, the more videos you put out, it's just a numbers game. The more likely it is that the content you create becomes valuable to a large enough group of viewers.
And I want to touch on that with a little story on my current YouTube channel that's more based on like tech stuff and just random video up. Like, there's no vision at all or direction for just the TJ Houston one. But I put a video up when I was a tech director at a school district about a software title that Apple released that helped manage iPads. And I just put together just a quick screen share using the Apple built-in, hey, this is how you do it. And this was this was me learning it, getting super excited about being able to finally have a tool to manage iPads in education, because up to this point, there was nothing. Like, they were very slow to give us management for iPads. So I created this video, and all of a sudden, like, that video now has over 100,000 views. I got a book deal out of it. So I actually wrote a book on iPad management because of that video. And it wasn't because, I had that or planned that, or I didn't even think that video was even that good. But again, the audience was thirsty, and they were thirsty for more of that. So that's where, I started creating more and more content around that. And then I was asked to speak at conferences. Like, it opened up a ton of doors for me.
Nice.
I was actually offered a job at Apple at that time, but I took a different direction, all because of that single screen share video where I provided value to an audience, and the audience went crazy for that video. So
that's awesome story.
Like, cool. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be the top end, like, super highly produced, where they have a whole team. Like, a lot of YouTubers out there have a team that is working on this stuff. They have an editor, they're just a lot of times they're just the on-camera talent, and then they have a whole team behind them. You have to realize that that's not going to be you right off the beginning, right at the beginning. Now, can you get there? Sure. I mean, you can do what you do best and outsource the rest and find an editor, find writers, whatever. But you have to realize you have to start small and keep building slowly but surely.
Yeah, again, that's an awesome story. So you're done with the video and you're ready to publish it. Excuse me. And there are a couple of things that I think are important. So if you're just starting out and you're not familiar with how the algorithm works, it's going to show your video to a group of viewers that it thinks it's appropriate for. And what are they going to see? They're going to see two things: the thumbnail that you create for the video and the title. So number one, don't leave any of your videos with the default thumbnail. Your thumbnails should be intentional. So either go create it in Photoshop or at least select one of the ones that it gives you. But go online. There are tons of tools where you can create a thumbnail. The thumbnail is what's going to make someone notice your video. So if it's a good thumbnail, you'll have a higher CTR, or click-through rate. You could have an awesome video with a horrible thumbnail and no one knows, because when they look at it, they just keep scrolling because for some reason that image didn't capture their attention. It didn't make them want to click on it. So focus on your thumbnail. I think a lot of people sort of just use that, they work so hard on the video and then they just want to be done and publish it, so they don't create a thumbnail that's click worthy. Let's call it that way, or we'll call it that. And this goes back to what I talked about in terms of reps, in terms of how many videos you put out. Because if you only put out 5 videos and you look at your thumbnail and you go, well, this one worked, but did that one work because it was lucky, or something, there are other variables, or is there something about that thumbnail that was actually good? And on the other hand, if you had 100 videos that were out and you said, look, these 10 videos got a very high click-through rate. Now you can look at 10 images, compare them to the other 90, and start finding patterns. And it's very important to be able to identify these patterns. So maybe there is a prominent color that you used. Maybe all the successful, and you don't even need to understand why, but maybe all the successful thumbnails were blue, or they were orange, or you used small text or large text, or your face was in the picture, or your face was not in the picture. Maybe it was just a zoomed in image of the product, or there was more in it. The more data you have, the more likely you are to be able to replicate the successful parts. And I think that's very, very important, because if YouTube shows that video or the thumbnail to a large enough group of potential viewers and they don't click on it, the algorithm just assumes that's bad content, and then it stops serving it, or it serves it a lot less. So the thumbnail is critical. The next thing is your title. And again, that's what they're going to see right below the thumbnail. And once again, look at what's successful and what's not successful. Like, which words work and which don't. Is it that you framed the topic negatively maybe and it worked, when you framed it positively and it worked? You need to have longer titles, shorter titles. All of these things are important. And the more you do this, the better you'll get at, okay, I see what's working. And I don't condone clickbait. People want me to have more clickbaity thumbnails and titles, but that's not what I do. So, and it's not what you want to do, because you will get clicks if you have a clickbaity thumbnail, but then they're going to leave right away. And once again, the algorithm learns that immediately. So you want to build trust, you want to provide value, but thumbnails and titles are super important.
Now, is there like a certain magic formula of how many times like you use the subject matter about, like, let's say I'm doing something about the M6 Mark II. Like, do I have to use it in the title, the description? Do I use hashtags like other social networks? Like, how do I create that title? Like, are there any tips like that?
Yep. So I would definitely use, so if I'm doing a product review, 100% of the time I'm using the product name in the title. Now, I want to do a little more than that, because I'm assuming that if I'm reviewing, and we're both reviewing the M6 Mark II, plus 1,000 other people who are going to review the same camera. So there's something about the title that I want to differentiate my video from everybody else's, but definitely use the product name in the title. Or if it's a tutorial about lighting, then you're going to use that. Next, you're going to want to use it in the first, if you can, in the first sentence of the description. So the same product name or some variation of what this tutorial is going to be about. And my background is in marketing, web design, and SEO, and it's a lot of those same strategies. You can use up to 3 hashtags in the description, which if you, next time you're on YouTube, if you look under the video, you'll see 3 hashtags if people use them. And you can also use tags when you upload the video. And YouTube has sort of stopped using those as much as it used to, but they're still valuable. It tells YouTube what your video is about. So you might use M6 Mark II or M6 Mark II review or Canon mirrorless camera review, things like that in your tags, again, to help YouTube figure out what this content is about.
And now, is that different? Are tags different than keywords? Or is that what you mean? Like, it's the same?
Well, so there is a tags section, and then you can also use keywords in the actual description. So your description of your video could be, in this review of the M Mark VI, I'm going to show you, ISO performance tests and this and this and this. That's your description. And then in a different section that's just tags, you will put all those keywords. but as individual tags.
Excellent. Cool.
Okay, so going back to sort of revisiting a topic that we talked about before, the reason why I always, when someone's like, "Oh, I'm planning on starting a YouTube channel," my advice is start now. Just go. Whatever gear you have, whatever you have, start. And the reason is there are things that you need to get better at that you can't get better at without actually doing. So some people are going to naturally be better in front of the camera than others. You can't get better at being in front of the camera if you don't do it over and over and over again. It's just, I've worked with performers who perform in front of tens of thousands of people, no problem. They're doing it live, so they don't have the opportunity to re-record. But yet, I put them in a room with a camera in front of them, and they freeze. So that's one of the things. You just need to do more of it. You just need to be comfortable talking to the camera in a room by yourself, like we're both doing right now. And again, you'll get better over time. You'll get better at everything. You'll get better at researching what you want to do the video about. You're going to be better at what bullets you're going to write, what information your viewers find valuable. And again, you need to do that over and over, get that feedback from your audience so that you can evolve. If you're just sitting there thinking, "Oh, I'm going to keep thinking until I get this perfect structure or video," that's just not going to happen. So start. And like I said, watch some tutorials and go. Definitely don't worry about views or likes or dislikes in the beginning. I'm much more interested in interaction from the audience in terms of comments because I get feedback. And I don't just need comments that say, "Oh, this was a great video." Some of the best comments I've gotten was, "This was a good video. It would have been better if you had done this," or, "Oh, you didn't cover this part of it." And then doesn't mean that I take all those and incorporate them into my videos, but I think, okay, like that's a different perspective than I had. I didn't know people would be interested in that. And in my YouTube community tab, I might put up a poll and say, "Hey, in my next camera review, are you interested in seeing autofocus speed tests?" Or doesn't matter, internal camera mic versus external audio samples, something like that. And then I can get feedback from my audience.
And I think too, like your audience will like don't think that you have to come up with all of these ideas or this content or all these things on your own. You'll start building an audience and you're going to notice they ask questions or they chime in. And for my Fit for the Road, which was a podcast that I used to do and now I'm revisiting it now, just kind of switching directions with it. Like I've done a couple posts in there and people ask questions or they share their goals, and you start to build that sense of community, and they're going to help you with this, and they're going to be honest with you about that they don't agree that you're doing Weight Watchers or the Whole30 or that you like that camera, and that's fine, because it's going to help you then find there's probably another person in the audience that just is afraid to raise their hand, and there's probably more than one. So I think that having that person that comes out and is honest and upfront with you will actually help you make more content about a certain area, because they're forcing you to say, "Hey, maybe it's not the best, maybe because I haven't looked at it from this point of view." And I think that the audience has such an important value. And like you said, don't worry about subscribers, just focus on content, build your niche, whatever. And but you'll get to a point though where you're going to now have an audience, and that's when you can kind of breathe a little bit, because you're going to start getting that feedback from those people, and your content is just going to be it's just going to start to grow because you get all these ideas. And you, for example, you have like no way of ever like doing all your ideas, correct? We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Like, you have
Yeah.
this
So
whole list of ideas.
I have a list of like 200 or 300 videos that I haven't done, and that's not taking into account any new gear that's going to come my way. So just with stuff that I've already done, and that list just grows because I'll put out one video and, let's say I'll get 1,000 comments, and there'll be like 5 great ideas for new videos. So from that one, I now have 5 more. When I publish one of those, I'm going to get 5 more. So I'm constantly like reprioritizing that list or some of it so that I can create more content. But I'm never at a point where I'm like, oh, like I don't know what I'm going to do a video about. It's just about sitting down and actually creating it. But you're absolutely right. The audience, and I actually learned that very early on because I might say, okay, well, I said everything I can think of about this product, and but we're sort of blind to our own perspective. And so someone would say, oh, but what about this? And I'd go, wow, that's a really good idea. Like, I never actually thought about it that way. So I love learning from my audience. And it's funny, some people leave, like, I don't get a lot of criticism, I guess, but some people leave comments and I think they might be thinking they're like burning me or something. But I'm like, oh, that's a good point. Like, I'll definitely incorporate that. Thank you. Um, so, yeah, like don't overthink it and just, it goes full circle into you will never get any of this feedback until you publish your videos. So I always like joke around with my friend and I say, the video that you haven't published continues to get 0 views while you're not publishing it. So
Absolutely.
get it out there.
So do you have any like tools or anything that like helps you keep track of that list, or do you mind sharing like what is your workflow? And I know this isn't like scripted or anything, so if you want to, push that, that's fine. But like, do you have any tools that you keep track of this or that help you come up with keyword, anything like that that you use?
Okay. So 2 different answers there. So in terms of just organization, I use Google Documents for everything. So I have Google Docs for for my list of videos, list of ideas, and then for each video, I have its own document where I'll have either a script or bullets. I also will work on the title, description, and tags, all of that ahead of time. I have a pre-written tweet and Facebook post. So once you publish your video, your job is not over. Now you need to promote it. And that's where using your existing your network in general, but including all your social media accounts really helps. So as soon as I publish a video, there's a tweet that goes out of my account. There's at least one Facebook post that, depending on the topic, it might go in different groups or pages. There's an Instagram story and post that go up. That's what I'll do right away to start sending people and let them know to go watch the video. So I sort of have a template that I've created and I just follow. When I go to start working on a new video, I already have a section for the title and the description and the tags. So when I'm done with it, I just go and fill the rest of it up. And then when I go to upload it to YouTube, it's ready to go. On top of that, because I'm working on multiple videos at the same time, there are steps that I go through. And TJ, that's actually a really good idea. Maybe I'll put together like a worksheet. But for me, it's, research and scripting. There is shooting the A-roll. There's shooting B-roll, editing, and then publishing. And so I have another, like a Google spreadsheet where I have all the videos that I'm working on and what phases I've completed. So I can look at that at any point and go, okay, I still need to shoot B-roll for this, or okay, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and publish this video next. So that sort of helps me. And I used to not have checklists, and I think checklists are super, super important. So even for production, so this isn't set up like this all the time because I reuse this setup for different things. So I don't want to have to figure out or remember that this light was on 72%. And I don't remember that that light was on 40% or that the desk height was 42 inches because this moves up and down. So I have everything written down. When I do my videos, I have 2 cameras. So what the cameras are set to in terms of ISO, white balance, focal length. So when I go to set up, I'm not doing anything from memory. I'm just following these checklists. And it really saved me because in the beginning I didn't. And all of a sudden I would forget to do an audio check. And I would record for 1 hour and then realize that the microphone was not connected to the camera. And now I only have the built-in audio, which I'm not going to use. And I'd have to reshoot it. So checklists are awesome. I have
I was going to say, if I can jump in here too, there's actually a book, Checklist Manifesto. The founder, I don't remember which co-founder of Twitter gave it to every single employee, but every employee that goes to Twitter got a copy of the book. It's Checklist Manifesto, and it's just how it can improve and change your life. So I would definitely, if you are a reader or an audio listener, I definitely would urge you to listen to Checklist Manifesto.
Nice.
And I can share a link if you want to link direct to that. Just reach out to me and I'll send it to you. But Checklist Manifesto, great book.
Yep, and that's awesome. So I have a shooting checklist and I have a publishing checklist. So that way, again, I know that I'm not forgetting anything, and I'm not relying. It's not just relying on my memory. It's that if you are thinking I'm going to rely on my memory, it means it's occupying mental energy at all times. Whereas if it's just a basic checklist, you're like, yep, I did that. Okay, I'm done. I'm ready to go. So I think that's really, really helpful. Now, in terms of tools on YouTube, there's a tool called TubeBuddy that can help you in lots of ways. And probably, we could do an entire video just about that. But it can help you with anything from keyword research to it has built-in checklists for when you publish a video. Definitely something that you should check out if you're interested. They have a free version that has a lot of really nice features, and then they have different levels of subscription in case you want more premium features.
Yeah, so I have it up here on screen.
There you go.
So you can see here, and what's really cool is with TubeBuddy, you can actually go to a video and it's going to help you with keywords. You can actually go to a random YouTube video on, let's see what just pops up. So Roadcaster, here we go. So now it'll actually also, if you give it a second to load, it's actually going to give you the information about that video. So, you can see here the channel has 1.4 million views, but then here's the checklist that he's talking about. These are the best practices. So these are what I follow when I upload a video. And I've actually been slowly going through even our live videos to make sure that these get added to our current videos that we have. So TubeBuddy is I'm a huge fan of it. And I think it's just a really, really great tool.
Yeah. And another one is vidIQ. Like vidIQ is another tool that gives you similar data. So again, both are valuable, especially when you're starting out. Again, there's no reason to have to guess at this when someone's already done the legwork for you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I did have a question that came in.
Go ahead.
How many episodes should you have ready before starting your channel? I've heard it's better to have 3 to 5 videos ready to launch, but what are your opinions?
That's a great question. I think 3 to 5. I think 3 at a minimum. You should shoot, edit, and have 3 videos ready to go before you launch. And the reason for that is you want to have enough content out so that you can get some realistic and some valuable feedback. So let's say you created 3 videos, you publish one, you wait a week, publish another one, wait a week, publish another one, or do it every couple of days. And now someone has a better perspective of the type of content you create, and you're getting feedback that's more valuable because it's based on a larger sample size. If you could do 5, that's even better. Now, in a perfect world, I would always have a video ready while I'm working on another video. So in a perfect world, even after you start, it's nice to have sort of banked videos so that you're not working on tomorrow's video if you can. Not always possible, but if you can, it's really nice. It's very freeing to know that I've already got one for tomorrow. This one will get published in 5 days. I have time to work on it. But yeah, 3 to 5, I think that's a very good number.
Excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and end it there. If there is anything else, do you have anything else that you want to share?
No, just start. If you're thinking about it, just go do it.
Do it. And that was the push that I needed to. And I've been 2 weeks strong now of publishing every Monday morning. So I'm listening to what he's been coaching me a lot too. So yes, you absolutely just have to put yourself out there outside of your comfort zone. So I want to go ahead and just let you know that we are doing a weekly photo contest. So this week's theme is food. This is something I've been getting into recently. So I want to see your images. I want to be influenced or inspired by you guys. And it's a great way to win $50. So all you have to do is follow us on Instagram at the.pixel.connection and share your entry with hashtag #thepixelconnection and hashtag #myfood. If there aren't any questions, I want to let you know about Pixel Photo Fest. So that's coming up August 14th through 16th, and we have a lot of amazing presenters. We're going to be talking about photo, video. We're going to talk about a little bit of everything. So Jeff is actually in the chat. He's going to be there. Vanessa Joy, Isaac Coffee. We have a whole list of presenters that are going to be there. And for you guys, you can use the code Lunch and Learn to save $100. That is half off the entrance to Pixel Photo Fest. And as of right now, we are working with the location, but we are still planning to host the event in August. And if that changes, we will be sure to let you know. If you need any additional help, we are doing virtual one-on-one classes. So if you're wondering, how do you get your camera into video mode or how do you set up the audio, then you can set up a one-to-one or a one-on-one discussion or a one-on-one class with us, and that is done virtually. So we just dial into a chat room similar to this one, and we go through everything that you need help with. I want to let you know, actually I should have updated that slide. Tomorrow is tips and tricks with Sony users, for Sony users. On Thursday, we have Miguel Quiles. He confirmed with me. And on Friday, we have the Friday Focus, which is what I talk on all the news that happened this week. If you guys do have absolutely any questions, please, please, please reach out at sales or social at thepixelconnection.com. Look for us on Instagram at the.pixel.connection or just give us a call. Our phone number is on the screen. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I want to thank our guest today. I really appreciate you joining us, and we thank you so much for your information. Definitely check out his channel. Just do a search for Tech Gear Talk.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, and thanks for coming on. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. We hope everybody has a great week. We'll see you tomorrow at noon. Bye.